When you think of a safari in India, you probably picture a majestic tiger walking through the jungle. But how likely is it to find these predators, and how photographic are the sightings considering the dense vegetation here? In Africa, I'm used to photographing big cats like lions, leopard, and cheetah, but it has always been an ambition of mine to come and photograph one of the largest and most beautiful cats in the world. And to make this dream a reality, I have traveled all the way from Botswana to central India to visit some of the most infamous tiger reserves in the world. I'm here along with Dan to see how we can design the perfect itinerary for us to bring guests here in the future. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to get here, what you can expect to see and photograph, as well as share some suggestions as to what camera gear you should consider bringing. Finally, I will share some of the images we have taken on this trip, so make sure you stick around until the end. Welcome to the Indian jungle. My name is Charles Stolz and I'm a professional wildlife photographer with Pangolin Photo Safaris. Part of my job and a great privilege is to seek out new destinations to take our clients on a photo safari. If you would like to join our growing community of wildlife photography enthusiasts, then please consider subscribing. Not only will you supporting the channel, but you will also be notified when we have updated a new destination report, gear review, or a photo tutorial. Thank you. On our trip to central India, we visited the renowned tiger reserves of Khana and Bandavgarh, located in the state of Madhya Pradesh. Both can be reached by taking a short inland flight of just over an hour from the international airport in Delhi to the small airport of Jabalpur, followed by a road transfer to the respected parks. Although the drive took a couple of hours, we enjoyed a glimpse into Indian culture as we drove through the typical towns and villages. There is literally never a dull moment. It's a feast for the senses. With an area of 940 square kilometers, Khana Tiger Reserve is larger than Bandavgarh and one of the biggest in the country. The Jungle Book picture landscape of Khana is dominated by the dense sal forest interspersed with meadows and swamps, creating a rich and biodiverse habitat to a variety of species, including the once nearly extinct Barasingha or swamp deer that has been successfully rescued through conservation efforts in this park. Similar to Khana, Bandavgarh featured open grasslands and plateaus. These areas are crucial for herbivores and are prime locations for wildlife sightings, attracting both grazers and predators. Both parks are unfenced and offer a good network of roads leading through these diverse landscapes that make them captivating destinations for nature lovers and wildlife enthusiasts. Off-roading is strictly prohibited, and the safari vehicles used in India are different than those used on safari in Africa. The small 4x4 Jeeps have an open-top design to provide unobstructed views, which is great for photography. Self-driving is not an option, and experienced guiding is essential for a successful tiger safari. So make sure you book through a trusted operator. There are typically 2 guides joining on each drive, the driver who is familiar with the reserve's topography and wildlife behavior, and the naturalist who has a great knowledge of flora and fauna and helps visitors understand the signs and signals of wildlife activity. A good team of naturalist and driver can also assist photographers in positioning themselves for the best shots.
Important to know is that Indian tiger reserves employ a zoning system to manage and balance various activities, including wildlife conservation, research and tourism. The number of visitors and vehicles allowed in the different zones is controlled to prevent overcrowding and ensure a sustainable and enjoyable experience for both tourists and wildlife. Core zones are the primary focus of conservation effort. They are designated areas where wildlife, especially endangered species like tigers, can thrive with minimal human interference. Buffer zones surround the core areas, acting as a protective barrier. These zones help minimize human-wildlife conflicts, external threats, and disturbance to the core habitat. Because these zones are randomly assigned and can vary greatly in size, scenery, and likelihood of seeing tigers, it is advisable to book through a reputable safari operator that can pre-book preferred zones at an additional cost. Equally important to know is that the times for your morning and afternoon jungle safaris is restricted by the park authorities, and full-day passes, which are limited, are only available at an extra cost. They are well worth it though, as they allow you to have a 15-minute head start in front of the crowds, and that you can stay 15 minutes longer in the evening. A full-day pass also allows you passing through different zones during the course of the day, optimizing your chances of wildlife sightings and creating a more personalized and an enjoyable experience, often having tiger sightings to yourself. Most tiger reserves are closed or partially closed between June and October for the monsoon season. And while the dry summer between March and June is considered to be the best time to see tigers, as they often spend their time in the water to beat the heat of the summer, we thoroughly enjoyed being here in February this time. This is the end of winter and temperatures are nice and cool in the mornings and warming up towards midday. The golden light through the morning mist during this time was especially picturesque, and we were lucky to have tiger sightings almost every day. Between the two parks, we have seen close to 20 different individuals. Although both Khana and Bandavgarh have a healthy and increasing tiger population, the concentration of Bengal tigers is bigger in Bandavgarh. Hence the saying, you have to be unlucky to see only one tiger in Bandavgarh. And although seeing and photographing these majestic predators is the main focal point for most visitors, the rich ecosystem of the tiger reserves offer way more flora and fauna. Common species we have seen are chital or spotted deer, common langur, sambar, the impressive ghau or Indian bison, wild boar, Indian jackals, the barking deer, and Asian elephants. With a lot of luck, you might even spot the elusive Indian leopard. Wild dogs are also known as Dhole, and one of the rarest animals on earth, the sloth bear. Thanks to the variety in vegetation and habitats, both parks are also birdwatchers' paradise with more than 250 species, both resident and migratory. Bird photography adds an extra layer of enjoyment to the overall wildlife experience in tiger reserves, providing opportunity to appreciate the beauty and diversity of avian life in natural habitats. As tiger sightings can be brief, a zoom lens like 100 to 400, 100 to 500 or 150 to 600 millimeter will give you most flexibility. And although the big primes are great for light intake and background separation, there is often little time to mess with mounting teleconverters, and you will have to work with the reach you have. Also keep in mind that there isn't all that much space on the vehicles to bring several lenses. Monopods can be useful to support your heavy gear because beanbags can only be utilized when shooting to the front of the vehicle. Because of the small size of the Jeeps, we suggest to not have more than 2 to 3 photographers per vehicle. Also make sure to bring something to cover your camera lens while driving, especially when entering and exiting the park, as vehicles in front will create a lot of dust. India offers a range of accommodations in the small towns and villages around tiger reserves, ranging from luxury lodges to budget-friendly guest houses and eco-friendly camps. The standard is good and the Indian cuisine offered is excellent. Staying inside the parks is not allowed, so a commute to the parks gate is necessary for every drive. This can vary depending on how far you stay away from the gate and which zone you enter on the specific day. We never really took longer than 20 minutes to get there.
We have just finished our last drive, and I would have to say we have had unforgettable time in central India. We focused most of our time on full-day drives in Bandavgarh Tiger Reserve. Our sightings were plentiful and diverse, and most importantly, we came away with some beautiful photos. Here is some of our highlights.